something interesting here. Yeah, so we talk about receivers, new guys have to learn the playbook. We talk about Josh Gordon. Maybe was the playbook the reason why he didn't play last year? We find out it's not the reason. But having to break away from bad habits not only is another thing you kind of have to get, not bad habits, break away from your kind of norms that you kind of learn to grow with Pittsburgh. And he kind of talked about a big thing with Pittsburgh versus what he's learned so far in Kansas City is kind of staying engaged with the play. And what he said, quote, "We're always taught just to stay on the move because you just never know what you'll get out of him referring to Pat. Right. He also made note that the Chiefs have an entire practice period devoted to scrambling and unscripted plays. And he said over the last 5 years, since he's been in the league, he's been with Big Ben. Big Ben hasn't been really the Big Ben from his rookie and first 10 seasons where, he was a lot of unscripted plays. He'd break tackles and roll out and find someone. JuJu got the latter part of that. He got the older Big Ben, so he wasn't a lot of much of unscripted plays.
Right.
So the question I had here is, when you talk about getting accustomed to playing with a new QB and system, developing chemistry, are these the kind of things we're talking about? Like having to learn, always staying, because when I saw it being engaged with the play, I feel like a receiver, that's just something you naturally are always engaged with the play. But I guess, going from old Big Ben to Pat, I mean, are these the kind of things we talk about when you're getting developing that chemistry, these kinds of things?
Oh, definitely. Because, when you put a plan together, game plan, or, however you run your offense, you have spots that you need to be in. You have the timing down when you run your routes, the depth of the route. And so sometimes as receivers, you're expecting the ball to be on you, right? Like when you come out to break, you're expecting the ball to be there. And sometimes it's a clock that goes off in your head because that expectation is telling me, well, if it's not here, then something's going wrong. Something's wrong. Something doesn't happen, or somebody else has got the football. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying before, where Patrick does a great job extending plays with his legs. And so him saying he's being engaged, he understands that you got a guy who can, run the football and throw it on a run. He can make throws that other guys just can't make, like the no-look pass. He's on the sideline. He's like, man, I ain't seen anything like that. Like he faked me out, and I'm on the sideline, right? So all those things are new because it's almost like I kind of liken it to Magic Johnson. Okay, if you're a Magic Johnson fan, then you know that when he played, Magic Johnson made sure that everybody that played around him was ready for the ball, because it could come out of nowhere. You just don't know, because it was showtime. That's what he was doing. How Magic do? It was magic, because that's how Patrick, in the football world, how he does things. He could run, he could throw it up here, sidearm it. And so guys know, look, just make sure I'm on the move. And so I told you, I think I've been saying this, it almost seemed like it's a big scramble drill. I've heard people talking about, man, what play are they running this? I'm like, look, man, these guys are just running to get open at a certain point, right? Now you have the design route, but at a certain point, it's like, okay, we'll stay on the move, find a window. And that's why I always said it was kind of like a smaller man's offense, because, the little guys could, you could fit behind a linebacker. You could go squeak in, right, 5 yards and catch the football and then run for 30 or 40 yards. So it was more so that, like finding the windows and keep working for Pat, because Pat's going to find you. And if you're finding and you're getting open, then, the football may come to you. But what we need to understand, I think, they're doing the scramble drill, but the scramble drill still has rules to it. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I want people to understand that even though it's like, it seems chaotic and there's still rules to what you have to do and to follow. Mm-hmm. So I'll give you an example. So if you have like the deep route on one particular play, and you could either keep going deep, but as soon as the quarterback scrambles, at least part of our rule, the deep guy will come back to the football. Mm-hmm. Okay. The short guy will go deep. The guy that's, got the shallow cross, or, the middle read or the basic route may switch up and go opposite end. Okay. And so there's rules to what everybody is playing, and you got to know what everybody is doing. You got to know the route. The worst thing you could possibly do is have two guys in the same area at one time. And I think the Chiefs do a great job of, they do a great job of guys not necessarily being in the same area where it becomes crowded. But sometimes what we seen last year, when Patrick is running around, he's trying to get the ball to guys. That's kind of what happened to Josh. Josh lost 2 balls like that last year off his hands and 2 interceptions because it's that engaging, like keep coming back to the ball, right? And I've seen him get on Hardman a couple of times. Like, look, man, you need to go deep. Like, you know the rule. Like, don't just, throttle down when I'm coming. I'm looking for you to go deep. I'm looking for you to run across your, full blast on these things. And so you can see that in his eyes, and I can see that in the offense of what they're trying to do, especially if the guy's not open initially or he does not getting the ball out of his hand right now. Stay on the move. Here's the rule. Know who's in your space, what you can do, what you can't do, and get open for Patrick, right? Find a window. So there's still rules to the chaos. It really is. But JuJu said, look, man, we're doing drills, so we understand this is what can happen in the game. Because it will happen in the game. This is how our offense is predicated off guys not getting open initially and then finding the window or hole that Patrick can get the ball to you. So we have the best quarterback in the business that can do that. I don't know any other quarterback that he may not be the fastest, but as far as fast as he is, getting the ball out of his hand and being that accurate, okay? Hint, Tua talking about accuracy. Pat got that. He already got it, man. So that's where we at, man. That's what JuJu's talking about. So
yeah, Pat's got that. He's got a sneaky athletic. Like he's not the fastest, but he's still got sneaky athleticism.
It's funny too because he's deceptive in his speed. He really is. It's not fast as what people think, and I think sometimes they might think Patrick's got a little dumpy around the midsection. I don't think they think he can move a little bit, right? Yeah. He may not look like the most athletic guy, but that sucker, he gets it down. He gets it done.
Yeah.
He's done trimmed down, man. He's an athlete. Yeah. Patrick's an athlete. Let's just put it that way, okay? He's played baseball, sure play basketball and other things like that, man. He's an athlete. So hey, look, don't let the smooth taste fool you, okay? Yeah. He'll get on you quick.
Now, what JuJu said, though, because in that quote, he also said that he's never had a practice period devoted to unscripted plays before. Now, that's not traditionally a part of the NFL periods, like practice periods, right? The most teams have a practice period devoted to that.
No, we do. Yeah, we do scramble drill every day, every single day. But like the whole period, like in itself. So I don't know how they was doing up in Pittsburgh. But I know when we had it, there was always a time that we did scramble drill toward that, like it was a 2-minute scramble drill. If we didn't, like even on 7-on-7, if you're not getting the football, we work on scramble drill. Right. Because we just say, you come back, hey man, it's scramble drill, right? The ball's not coming out, scramble drill. Like you still had to work on it. We don't want guys just standing around. Right. And so that's what he was talking about. Like the plays are lasting longer than what he's used to. Okay. Because that's what's expected here in Kansas City.
Yep.
So we had periods that you would do scramble drill every single day. That was just part of it, So, like I said, man, work on practically every scenario that there is the guys could even think of, and that's why I say sometimes these things that happen in the game, coaches have thought it out. I mean, you have to. I mean, you have to think about what is it I'm going against if I get in this scenario. What's the contingency plan? How do I get out of it? What do we do in this particular thing? We all don't want to be looking like deers in headlights and just standing around. We don't want to look bad as coaches like, oh, well, we don't know what to do, right? Let's go. Hey, it's what we do, right? This improvise if you need to, but just make sure when you're improvising, you're not on top of another player while you're doing it. You're not running in and looking like, I don't know who like Three Stooges.
Right.
So,
I believe also in that same quote, JuJu said that he had never the first time he got a no look pass was Patrick in the Pro Bowl in 2019.
Oh, really? Okay.
He played the no looker to him in the game.
Yeah, man, be ready, man. Be ready because he'll hit you dead in your helmet and pop up, and you're not expecting it, and you have to be ready all the time. All the time.
Did Trent ever do any no looks in practice, or Brody or Damon?
No, They might have did it in team messing around, but not in practice now. Trent was, I mean, when I'm telling you, that was a great thing. I love watching Trent work because if the ball wasn't on the receiver or, it was in the dirt or somebody missed the ball, Trent would count everything out. And it was precise. Like he knew how deep you had to be. And he knew if the timing was off because everything was like on time and everybody was expecting the ball. Ball was coming out of hand and you weren't even out of your route. And so that's what you knew. That was part of what the offense was geared to, was on timing. And he was great at it. Absolutely one of the best I've seen. Like when I'm talking about to a T in detail, depth of the route, timing of the route, when you're supposed to be. And Al Saunders, I'll tell you what Al used to say. Al Saunders used to say, be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. That was our mantra. Be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. Because if you're not, everything messes up because your timing is off. So
that's talking about being exact and precise with everything.
Yes.
And another way, well, Casey Prayers, I remember in our that preseason, we had some scramble drills with him. I'm sure. I mean, did he ever no looks with him? No, I feel like he would be the type. He ended up playing in the CFL. They experiment with everything up there, so Oh
yeah. No, I mean I can't think like no look passes. Not really, man. But Casey made people miss though, man. He was an athletic, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and he wasn't sneaky about it. He was
smart,
man.
Yeah, he make it look easy too, man. I used to love watch Casey out there running with that ball in his head and just put the ball up because he'd be out there like this, like dancing with it, like.
Yeah, that was another guy. We talked about Rod Gardner getting cut, and he was another guy that should not have gotten cut off that team.
Yeah, man.
That was a surprise. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get podcasts.